Felicia La Tour.
We made it.
I know.
Oh my God.
Somebody's mama. Everybody's homegirl, right? Love it.
Yeah, yeah.
And all of that. Super mom, super influencer. How would you describe yourself instead of me just putting all that on you? But you are somebody's mama.
Yeah.
You are everybody's homegirl.
That's what
Okay.
totally. Yeah. I think I would start with, I'm somebody's mama of two, mother of two. By trade, I am a makeup artist. And I'm putting my energy into my purpose, which is Mindful Fee.
Yes.
And bringing awareness and ultimately teaching women, mothers, human beings, spiritual beings, anybody that's awake, anybody that wants to hear,
Right.
to believe in themselves and to believe in what their purpose is and to not be
Yes.
afraid of their power, because we all have superpowers. And I basically encourage women to find out what theirs are and use them to
Yes.
heal the world,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
whether that be facing trauma, mental health issue, whatever it is.
Right.
Get through it so that you
Right.
can get to work.
Right. Now, you are also the author of Mindful Fee. We can get to that in a little
I
bit.
love
I
that.
want to put that out there because it seems like 2019, it's really taken off.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right? So just a little background. Felicia has been my secret weapon on how to be a better dad, how to be a better husband for a pregnant mama. Because when she was pregnant, you were pregnant, you were going through, but the reason I even felt comfortable asking is because you were very transparent
Yeah.
on Instagram about the struggle, about the journey of being pregnant, about the
Yeah.
journey of being a mom, but also saying, hey, other mothers out there, I get it. I feel
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
This is hard, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, damn, I need some educate. How do I support my wife better while she's pregnant? And you just dropping nuggets and helping me be like, all right, so I'm gonna try to be more supportive.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we're back.
Is he looking at it?
He is looking at it, and he's looking at his strawberry too.
Fantastic.
This is perfect. This is exactly
This
what
is real life.
No, this is it. And
Yeah.
and so, but now this is why I think so many mothers connect with you. You're completely yourself,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so as tough as it may be sometimes for you to just lay it all out publicly online, social media, is there any difference at all? Is there anything that you hold back?
I hold back. Yeah, there's stuff I hold back.
In the messages and
Yeah.
feelings that you may have,
Yeah.
as vulnerable as you are,
Yeah.
maybe an idea, no details, you don't have to give details. What kind of topics or things are you like, maybe I'm not going to get too in detail about this?
Yeah. I feel like I scratched the surface on relationship. I feel like I scratched the surface on family.
Okay.
I feel like I scratched the surface on a lot of things, actually. But the thing that I feel like I'm very open about is my journey
Yes.
specifically,
Yes.
and just taking control of self.
Yes.
So it's an interesting space to be in because I'm really stepping in and understanding that I'm in control.
Yes.
So I'm like, wait, but did I not talk about certain things for a reason? Like, have I always been aware of this?
You were answering the question about essentially who is Felicia La Tour. I introed you as somebody's mama, everybody's homegirl,
Yeah.
right? You have Mindful Fee that you launched. You're the author of that. You're the creator of. But who is Felicia La Tour?
Felicia La Tour is a friend. Felicia La Tour is a leader. Felicia La Tour
love that.
is a lover, like a very big lover. Felicia La Tour is a healer. Felicia La Tour is a child of God. Felicia La Tour is a spiritual essence. I feel like I am a piece of magic, and I feel like everybody is a piece of magic.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and I'm just claiming my magic now.
I love that.
I wasn't claiming it for a really long time.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wasn't fully claiming it until a couple of months ago, like September.
Really? Just a couple of months ago?
Yeah, but fully.
Okay.
I was practicing.
You were on your way there. I mean, I've been
Yeah.
seeing
I was there,
this
but I was,
progression.
you know what it is? I identified it the other day. It's like I was there and I was showing up,
Yeah.
but my vibration, like let's say we have a tank of, you can go to 10.
Yeah.
My vibration was only at maybe like 3, and I didn't know. I'm
Okay.
going at what I think my capacity
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Then I finally gave myself permission to go all the way, but I needed to try it a little bit
Yeah.
because I was so used to hiding behind other people, like, oh, I'll just be the makeup artist, or I'll just be the person that's doing this, helping everybody else, because I
Yeah.
was too afraid to like step into
Right.
and vibrate at 10.
Right.
You know, so now I'm like, oh, in 2020 and this last quarter of 2019, no, like,
Yeah.
no, I'm stepping in. And really what it is it really comes down to me leaving space for God to
Yeah.
create his magic, because I was filling that space with people, and I didn't even let, I thought I was doing it by myself. I can do it by myself. I'm like, yeah, no, it don't work like that.
But the thing is, okay, you've said so many amazing things. Now, I know that for any person, but you know, for Felicia to say a leader, right, a healer, you know, a friend, somebody magical, it takes a journey,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You've been extremely honest about, hey, listen, I've had some pretty rough years, like,
Yeah.
you know, and I believe in some of your videos you've even talked about, you know, like your early years have been tough. And what kind of challenges, what kind of trauma did you survive early on in life, getting to where you are now?
Yeah.
As comfortable as you're
Yeah.
willing to share.
Yeah. I think growing up, it was me, my brother, my sister. Mom's a single parent.
Okay.
So that came with a lot of responsibility because there's not a second parent there.
Were you
know?
the oldest?
Middle child.
Middle child.
So basically, I'm the oldest.
Okay.
Like the middle child. We're
Well,
a little
listen,
different.
I was
honey.
the oldest, so I was the oldest.
I'm the mama number 2. I'm the
Okay. Oh,
co-parent.
yeah, okay, I got you.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
it's interesting because yeah, so
Because Pops wasn't around.
yeah,
Right?
So
I'm
yeah,
okay, all right.
And I, what did you ask me?
Basically,
I started
you know,
laughing and
like
lost my
what
train of
trauma and
Yeah.
challenges early on did you survive or live through?
Yeah.
Push through.
Yeah.
To become, you know, this leader and this healer.
Yeah.
Right. But this journey of, basically, we don't have a testimony without a
Yeah.
test.
Yeah.
So just a little idea, a little glimpse into the test part of
Yeah.
Felicia La Tour.
Yeah, yeah. So it starts there. That was just like a lot of responsibility, and my mom, she did her best, and she always worked like really hard.
Yeah.
For
And you
us.
and Mom were pretty tight.
Well, she was working a lot,
Oh, I
you
see.
know. So
Okay.
so we're as tight as we can be for
Yeah.
our circumstances, and you know, and a little bit later in life, because that part I feel like there was different things that went on in the household that affected me, like trauma wise.
Okay. All right. All right.
And later, drugs was the thing within my family.
Okay.
Lots of my very like close,
Yeah.
like grandmother, you know, went through drugs, and that
Yeah.
was really hard to see. And there was times where
Did you see some pretty graphic stuff?
Yeah,
You did?
yeah,
Yeah.
and I put myself in situations so that they felt loved. I know that I have a way with people, and I know that I'm.
It's always been
not
present
about-
then.
Yeah.
Even as a young child.
Oh yeah, yeah. When I was a kid, I knew that I was different.
Yeah,
And I knew that I had magic, and I just didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
You know. And yeah, so I've seen a lot of.
What did you call
things.
it? I'm sorry to cut you off. What did you call it in yourself when you were a kid and you knew that there was something special about you, about your ability to maybe kind of fill the cracks in a family, like
Yeah.
this healing presence
Yeah.
or whatever. What did you call it when you were? Do you remember?
I just thought that it was God. Like
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was something bigger than me. I didn't fully I don't think I
Yeah.
fully understood, you
Yeah.
know? But I always knew that I was just more aware than other people.
Yeah.
I could just see things a little bit differently, you know? And it's unfortunate because those are the people sometimes that feel like they're alone. And it's like, but you're not alone. Because I know that feeling,
Yeah.
you know? And
yeah.
then when I
you
started
can be in
to...
a house full of people
Yeah.
and still feel alone.
Absolutely.
I absolutely 100% know the feeling.
Absolutely. And so yeah, so the drug thing was like a huge thing, and it's still something that I deal with because my brother, who's the oldest child, still, you know, he deals with his mental health issues,
Yeah.
and his way of
Coping.
Yeah, his way of coping is drugs, and
Yeah.
and you know, that's very heartbreaking because I do have such a mothering nature, and you want to help so
Yeah.
much, but sometimes we want to help to where we lose ourselves.
Yeah.
And that was actually something I have to figure out a little bit later, because I'm like, well, why is it that I want to help someone that I lose myself so much? Where does this come from? So right now is the space where I'm kind of digging that stuff up, actually.
Yeah.
And so it's very, very,
Yeah.
the trauma is fresh.
Yeah, I mean, there's a concept called codependency also,
Yeah.
where, especially in families of addiction, the children oftentimes, and the partner to the addict. So my father was a drug addict and alcoholic, and my mother jumped into this role of protector. She protected her kids. She provided, and she was the defender against all things evil, which was this addiction in my father. But as the children, as the oldest, I jumped into this surrogate man of the house, because you feel like as a kid, you feel like you have to step up and become that value. Kids are so resilient and observant. They'll notice the trauma in the house, or they'll notice, and so they'll see these gaps in the home and say, "Oh, I will help mom do this, and I will help mom do that." And so, without even, it's not a written contract; it's an unspoken agreement that we make with ourselves, and maybe even with our parent. I will be this for you, mom. I will fill this role because I see you need the help. So I will care for extra. I will try to make people happier. Whatever it might be. You get what I'm saying? This becomes a habit. This becomes a part of our fabric. We grow up and we're still that person. That child is still in us, but the number keeps growing, right? So we're older, but we still have these unspoken agreements that move with us through life. As we get older, you know, prayerfully, we become aware of the ones that are not healthy.
Trauma, it's the trauma relationship.
Yes.
You know, it's that relationship.
Yes.
And it's like, I was telling my therapist the other day, and I was like, I woke up one day and I was like, I never turned that part off. I needed to I needed to use these tools to survive certain things.
That's absolutely correct.
But so, for instance, you know, my biggest thing is, okay, let's see. Come on, be careful. It's interesting because growing up, my mom, she would raise her voice a lot and scream a lot just out of her own stuff that she was going through.
Sure.
And, you know, as a child, we translate things so differently. And I didn't like to ask for help. I always thought I had to do, everything was supposed to be difficult. And, you know, I grew up in it as an adult and still was operating off of that logic. And that's like a little kid translation of if I ask for something, that's a bad thing because my mom screamed, but it wasn't. I translated it incorrectly. You could, without, you know.
That might have been the reality for the time.
Yeah, exactly,
Right.
for the time. And I didn't fully understand, like, oh, I needed that to survive for that moment, but I don't need that for the rest of my life.
Right.
And that was only a small season,
Yep.
but I carried the baggage all the way here. And that's what I'm realizing is I'm like, okay, I'm walking through this space of healing,
Right.
and I'm looking like, oh my God, I carried all that shit over here with
Exactly.
me. How long have I been collecting all these cans?
Absolutely.
I'm like, and I'm trying to, and the crazy thing is too, is I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, which is the healing, and like God being like, I'm here to heal you.
Yep.
Come on, I never
Yep.
left you.
Yep.
But the door that I'm trying to get in right now is so narrow that only I can fit. And my old ways of how I believe things and the trauma and like
makes you too wide.
The
You won't fit through that door.
reprogramming.
Right.
And God's like, look, we right here. Only you can get in here. And I'm trying to unbind the chains that are strapping me to letting go of whatever the past was.
Right.
And that part is really hard.
Okay.
that part is really hard because that comes with awareness. And
Yes.
sometimes when you're aware, you're like, there's a couple of things that I saw. When the veil started to be lifted off of me,
Yeah.
I was able to identify different relationships
Yeah.
and see, am I operating out of trauma here?
Yeah.
Or is this speaking to who I am as Felicia La Tour, the woman that stands today?
Right.
And when I started to realize that, and I would question and I would pay attention, I looked up and some of my relationships
Yeah. Yeah.
were, I was like, I never, I didn't respect myself enough or know myself enough
Yeah.
to set boundaries.
Yes.
And I just let people have their way,
Yes.
and however you want to use me in your life, cool. And I just thought to myself, no,
No more.
I'm not doing this anymore.
I've done it this
That
long enough.
my problems are not, that's not my issue. I didn't do anything to you. And I'm carrying bags.
Yep.
I got one bag. All these other bags is other people's bags. So,
Yeah.
and in that realization and recognizing, I had to let people go.
Yep.
And I had to create space.
Yep.
And the thought of that scared the shit out of me because it's relationships that like I thought were gonna last forever.
Yep.
And when I'm saying relationships, friendships,
Yep.
my situation with their
Sometimes
father,
family as well.
family.
Right.
I think a lot of people, when you say relationship, they think just your significant
Romantic.
other.
No,
yeah,
it's friendships,
beyond.
it's family.
Like, it's beyond,
Yeah.
you know. And my relationship with myself was changing, so that's why everything else had to change because
Yeah.
I'm the ruler of what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of what I'm doing now is very interesting because I'm forced to use my voice.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I felt like it wasn't good to use my voice. I don't know if you've ever
Because that goes back to if I speak up, mom's gonna yell.
yes.
Right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's not encouraged to share our thoughts or use our voice.
Yeah.
But at some point, I know I just want to, but at some point, you get to a crossroad, and I'm sure you got there. Well, clearly you did, because now it's like, no, wait, my voice is my strength.
Yeah.
This passion that I have to help people heal is a gift.
Yeah.
And I actually know how to communicate it in a way that people get.
Yeah, and it's
right?
actually helping people.
Exactly.
Like there's testimonies of people like,
Absolutely.
you have no idea how much, and I'm just like, that's honestly, it's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
Doing Mindful Fee and
Yeah.
being a mom
Yeah.
and being a friend and being a daughter and everything I'm doing,
Right.
I love it.
Right.
I'm like, I get to just encourage people all
Yeah,
day. I'm
right.
like, this is dope.
I know, it's amazing.
This is tight.
And so then you were saying, you know, in terms of just kind of shedding off people that didn't need to be in your life anymore,
Yeah.
whether it be romantic, friendship, or family, you got to know yourself more.
Yeah.
And I think you were going to share a little something about
I
that
just,
journey.
yeah, I just identified like, what do you like? What do you not like? What are deal
Mm-hmm.
breakers? I never even asked myself those questions. I didn't think that what I wanted for myself, I didn't feel worthy of it, and subconsciously I
That's
didn't know
powerful.
that that's what it was.
That's powerful. I think it's ironic that, you know, we may discover the other people outside of us that need to be shed off, right? It kind of just, you know, as I'm creating healthy boundaries, as I'm identifying the toxic people in my life, you become more aware of than the parts of yourself that you have to shed off. You're like, oh yeah, I don't really like that about me too much anymore.
Being honest with yourself.
Yes, but
Yeah.
a lot of people have a hard time, number one, cutting off people, but the really hard part is looking at themselves in the mirror and saying, you know that you can do a lot better. Why do you think that is?
Why?
I mean, use your own personal journey as an example then.
Right. I'm trying to think of why I was fearful of what other people would think.
Yes.
I was fearful of my gift doesn't look like anybody else's. It was fear. It was fear. It was fear, and I didn't have enough confidence to step into my purpose. I was afraid. It comes with a lot
Yeah.
because I knew it come with me working past all the stuff that's been holding me back.
Right.
And then you get to a point where you get sick and tired of being tired. I think that's real.
Yeah.
Some people do, some people don't.
Yeah. Yeah. That saying didn't just pop out of thin air. It came from somewhere. You get sick and tired of being tired.
And I don't want to be taken off of this earth early because I'm not stepping into my purpose. I don't have time for that. And my kids don't have time for that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
I
got things to do.
Yeah, I have things to do. And me not using my voice is slowing down the world.
Yeah.
It's slowing down the world.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I have one job, and my job is to encourage people.
I want to transition into, some of the amazing stuff that you're doing right now. So you literally just launched a new line. Well, your second wave, I guess, right?
Yeah, second
Somebody's
collection.
mama, homegirl, right? And then this All God, No Cap, which I love. I had to cop a few things for the wife and they fit so amazing, by the way.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm real big on that. I'm like, you got to be right.
Yes.
I'm like, we can't be doing nothing cheap and looking crazy.
Thank you for that.
I'm like, the moms need love.
Because it's gonna last for a very long time.
Yeah, for sure.
Very long time.
For sure.
Your mission, your purpose,
Yeah.
your message behind the clothing line, and just who Felicia La Tour is. What is that? What is your message to everybody out there?
Yeah, the message is to believe in yourself, believe in your magic, believe in something bigger than you, face your mental health,
Yeah.
face your trauma. It's a real thing. It's not anything to be ashamed of. And I feel like on the other side of that is magic. You know, I feel like we're not able to really unlock and unleash our power until we face ourselves. Until you face yourselves and you can be honest with yourself, how we're saying.
Yep.
There's things about myself that I don't really like.
Yep.
But until you can do that, I feel like that's when we're able to vibrate at the level we're supposed to.
Yeah, the 10 you were talking about,
Yeah,
as opposed
yeah.
to you were at 3 for a while.
Yeah.
When you say the magic's on the other side, describe what that is for some folks that are like, well, I don't know what you mean by the magic.
I guess the way that I say the magic is, my definition of success is peace of mind in whatever it is that I'm doing, and fulfilling my purpose and feeling complete internally. And I know that to have access to that freedom, that peace of mind, I feel like that's freedom. That's a privilege that we have to work towards, just like happiness.
Yeah.
And to be able to have that, I feel like that's where my magic is. You know, I don't know if I'm explaining it clear enough.
Well, it's
but
good. I just
Yeah.
no, it's good because I think that a lot of people are searching right now.
Yeah.
Right. Your message seems to resonate very strongly with women,
Yeah.
but I don't know if you're aware of the fact that it resonates with men as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we watch and we listen, and so whether a man likes to admit it or not, we learn plenty from women.
Absolutely.
Right. So if any man, any father, myself included, comes across one of your videos and you're like, damn, you know what? I just learned something
Yeah. Yeah.
about women, about even myself. Maybe I should try that.
Yeah. If you're open and aware.
Absolutely.
If you're open and aware
Yeah,
to it.
but see that's the beauty of what you're doing. That's the beauty of just speaking your truth. When you're ready to just speak your truth and speak that healing and the things that you're passionate about, the people that find that message, it doesn't matter what date it was recorded. When they're ready to hear, it changes them.
Yeah.
And it's right on time for that person. And
Yeah.
that's the beauty about the seeds that you're planting. You know, with no shame, this is what I'm learning. And it's almost encouraging for people to literally say, no, I'm going to talk through my trauma. As a matter of fact, I'm going to talk through it out loud.
Yeah.
And I may be learning something as I'm talking. I know a lot of times, and correct me if I'm wrong, if this is not something that you experience, but maybe even in the middle of one of your messages, you're so passionate behind the words that you're speaking because in that moment you're actually preaching to yourself to get through whatever it is.
Absolutely.
And it's not necessarily somebody else is going through this,
Yeah.
so I'm going to record this video.
Yeah.
Like, damn, I'm going through something right now. I need to get this off my chest.
Yeah.
You just deliver it in a way
Yeah.
that it's for everyone.
Yeah, and it happens to, like, it's interesting because I feel like I'm outwardly healing, and with me facing my trauma and my
Yeah.
healing and stuff, it just activates other people to do it
Yeah.
too. So it's
Yeah.
when I stop working on myself is
Yeah.
when I'm not tapped
Yeah.
in, you know? And when I'm holding myself accountable
Yep.
and I'm facing myself and I'm trying to break the habits and break the cycle
Right.
of myself, then that's when I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Have you seen any challenges, or what have the biggest challenges? What have you seen as the biggest obstacles for other people to kind of take your advice and just push through and find their own magic?
Honestly, I feel like a lot of it is consistency. I feel like a lot of it is consistency. A lot of it is discipline. I'm a very disciplined person. Since I was a kid, I've always just been like,
Yeah.
I want something, I'm going to get
Go
it.
get
I'm
it.
going to take the necessary steps. I'm
Right.
not afraid to work hard. I'm not afraid to go through the fire. I'm not afraid to go through the water. I'm not afraid to go through none of it, you know? So, operating out of faith
Yeah.
in those moments too,
Yeah.
because I just think that some people don't have the faith. It really comes down to like the simplicity of things,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And there's a such thing as working hard, but not working, like working hard, but not, the foundation is not faith. It's just like, I'm working hard because I want to do this and this is
Yeah.
what I want. But I was like, what happens if I actually enjoy myself a little bit
Yep.
more?
Yep.
If I give myself permission to enjoy
Yeah.
what I'm creating.
Yeah.
And I started to, it's crazy because I was giving so much to other people
Yep.
via social media, and people would tell me all the time, like, I wanted to kill myself until I saw this video of you.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, I'm doing light work. This is God work.
Yeah.
But in the same token, I didn't even realize it, is I didn't feel worthy of the same love that I was giving other people.
That's powerful.
I wasn't open
Yeah.
to be,
Yeah.
I wasn't ready to receive that type of, I was like, that type of love made me uncomfortable. But I loved loving, I
Yeah.
love with all of me. But to give it back, I'm like, don't love me. Don't love on me.
That kind of reminds me of what we were talking about earlier, with you as this young child,
Yeah.
you know, helping everyone else, but not necessarily asking for help, or I
Yeah.
can do it on my own.
Yeah. Or feeling like I had to do it on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
a
it's
very lonely island to be
oh my
on.
God, it's not the way to life. It's
No.
not the way to the magic. It's not. You need people to help you get there, and need help. You need people to help you remember who you are, you know, and remember the highest version of you,
Yep.
you know, because in life we go through things and we can turn into other people. Other spirits can take over us, whatever. But who is talking to the highest version of me, you know, like the best version? And I just started to surround myself with people like that.
Yeah.
And I started to spend less time with people that spoke to my insecurities and my trauma,
Yeah.
not ignoring them, because
That's
you're
good.
bringing
That's
something
good.
out in me that I need to heal within myself. So it's
Yes.
not really you, it's you're mirroring something that I need to fix.
Yeah.
And so really taking accountability, responsibility
Yeah.
for our shit.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
and not letting it run us wild.
Yeah, you know, that's an amazing point, actually. Like a toxic person versus a healthy friendship or relationship is, the toxic person will point out and try to shame you for the insecurities verbally, or, you know, and the healthy relationship will show you the areas that you need to fix or your insecurities without even saying a word.
Yeah.
It may be about the insecurities. Like they might just be living their own life and doing life the way they know how. And by their example, you're like, man, you do a personal inventory. Like, damn, I want to do it like that. I want to be able to just tackle that and still, you know, be emotionally okay and
Yeah.
not a wreck because I went through. I like that, you know. There have been so many instances where, even in my own marriage now, my wife has no emotional baggage. And it's crazy to even say. She has no emotional baggage. When we first started dating, there was a moment where I felt bored because I wasn't being challenged. Then I had to look at myself and say, well, what is it that you wanted? What challenge do you want? And I look back at all of the previous relationships, the romantic ones, and then even family, and then
Your childhood.
yes,
Your childhood
even that far
in
back.
that space, yeah.
But what it was that the relationships that I had had up to that point were all one in which I needed to fix something in another person. And I was attracted to this task, this assignment that I needed to fix somebody else. We talked about that earlier. That's called codependency. My purpose in this relationship is because I can help you fix yourself. And in that, I'm working my purpose. But what we don't understand is that's not healthy if you're giving of yourself and not being refilled.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, because you will find very quickly people that are empty, cup half full, and taking and receiving more than they're actually pouring back into your life. You can kind of find that road really, really easily. It takes a healed whole person, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, to understand how to find the healthy people and surround yourself with that, right? So, as you're looking at yourself and you're like, man, I don't have to fix everybody else. There's a liberating feeling in that, isn't there? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, there's a very liberating feeling in that.
There's power in that, right?
Absolutely, because now it gives me time and space and opportunity to do what my job is, but I couldn't do that before because I felt like it was my job to fix everybody and help everybody, and I was just like, well, what about you?
Yeah, but you're building a healthy
foundation. That foundation.
And they'll always
that foundation is crucial.
Because we as adults, you and I, and anybody else that has experienced trauma, we know what it is to walk through life as an adult with maybe some cracks in our foundation. Yeah. Right? I couldn't tell you what having no emotional baggage feels like. Because I've never been there. Yeah. My kid is absolutely going to know that. Yeah. Right? Yeah. But there's still some value in the struggle. Yeah. Absolutely. And because and the most obvious example of that is what you've done with your trauma is turned it into these messages to literally change people's lives, right? You mentioned people hit you up, inbox about feeling suicidal. How often are you asked, for example, how do I find my purpose? And then what is your response to that for anybody listening?
How often am I asked, how do I find my purpose?
People in the inbox might say, how am I supposed to discover my purpose? How do I know what my purpose is?
It's interesting because I actually don't get asked that a lot. Really? But I think it's maybe because of the way that I'm translating the information that a lot of people say thank you. They're just like, thank you for this. Yeah. I'm going to try this. And then they find their own ways. Yeah. Because my thing is everybody's going to find their purpose on their own. I also don't want to tell you what to do because you're going to keep on coming on my page. Yeah. And I'm not going to have the answers to you because I don't know your life. Yeah. I just know what I'm doing. And I'm going to share what I'm doing. And if it works for you, cool. Yeah. And if it doesn't, then you have to find another source to be able, because I'm speaking to everybody. But if it, and a lot of people literally like, I think it was like last week, a couple of women, they would send me stuff like, I just want to let you know, like, this is what I'm working on. And one was like, she finally held an art show that she's been wanting to do for years. And then another mom just enrolled in school and like graduated from school. Another mom is doing her own like independent thing. And so it's being explained. Yeah. But it's interesting too because I'm just being me, and I'm like, I don't know.
But isn't that a beautiful gift to know, though? That, man, God, why did you give me?
Oh, it's amazing.
You know what I'm saying?
It's really cool.
I just get to be myself. I've been doing this and having this desire to help, to inspire, to heal forever. Yeah. And now you're saying it's my strength.
Yeah. I've been the encouraging friend and the motivational friend my whole entire life.
I know the feeling.
I've been like that my whole life, and I just thought like, oh, that's just me. It's not a big deal. But then now that I'm an adult and I see change happen, and I see that when I speak life into people and I just say one thing and it affects them so much, like they listen, and it's the voice that they need, And I think in our community, we come from this space of like, and not all Black mothers are like this, but a lot of them do have the aggression just because of the time that we were in, where fathers were being removed from our homes. Absolutely. So the mom had to step into this role of masculine energy and not necessarily feminine. Yeah. And, because we had to go into protective mode. Yeah. And I think that my mom was definitely affected by that. I get it. I understand. Right. And so now it's easier for me to retranslate a different way. Like, oh no, like she was tired. Like she was screaming at you because your voice didn't matter. Like mom was tired.
Yeah. And maybe she was working through her own hurt still from whatever
She's still a person before she even had any of
Right.
us. She got her shit too, just like us. Right. All of us do, you know? And so that's why I had to learn, and I still have to learn, to show compassion and mercy in those moments, because
Yeah.
we all, I don't want to get rid of my trauma, because it made me who I am today.
Yeah, no.
But I want to be able to master it and let it know that it's not in control
Yes.
of what I got going on.
Yes.
And in those moments of trauma outbursts,
Yeah.
anxiety, different things,
Yeah.
really just getting to a space, and I'm definitely stepping into that space more often than now, where I can stop before,
Yep.
with the help of like what is Jesus in therapy?
Yeah.
With the help of those two things,
Right,
like
right.
literally it makes it so much easier.
Yes.
And I'll look at myself in the mirror like, girl, I am proud of you. I
Yeah.
literally talk to myself like
Good.
that sometimes.
Good.
Because I'm like, and I feel like it's a spiritual connection, that my spirit is like, come on, girl, here we go. Like somebody's mama, like it works, you know?
So many things.
I know.
And I just, I knew that this conversation was going to be amazing, because of the insight that you would share, and just thoughts that I even had, but also that the same kind of message is needed. People need it. I see it as planting seeds, right? And so a farmer that plants seeds, we're like farmers, essentially. We
Yeah.
plant seed.
Yeah.
We have seed. We're confident in the seed that we're planting, because we know it's good seed. Like, I know what I'm giving you is good. You need this, whether you know it or not yet, right? But the thing about planting seed is, before that seed will even take to the soil itself has to be destroyed. It has to be uprooted. It has to be broken. You get what I'm saying? And so I use this analogy often, in that, that seed's not going to take. Your advice is not going to take in another person until they're in that place where they're just broken, when they're ready to just receive whatever.
When they're broken, and it's almost like the water starts to.
Yeah.
It's literally like a what is it when like in New Orleans, was it like a bridge or something? Like it was something that broke to where when it.
Yes, the levee.
Yeah.
To let the
so
water.
That's what it
yes.
reminds me of.
Yeah.
Is like internally is like it breaks, and
great
then the
analogy.
water starts to
Flood.
flood that seed that we planted 5 years ago, 2
Yeah.
days ago, you know, whenever.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's talk a little bit now, just transitioning a little bit into the world of love and relationships, right? Men and women, let's face it, we don't get each other often. Like, plenty of us are just damn confused. I have more women, more female friends, beautiful, single, can't find a good man, according to them, right? When they go out, it's like, where are the good men? And if we're out, they don't come and talk to me.
Yeah.
I've tried to date online or whatever. I just don't get it. What do men need to know about women?
What do men need to know about women?
Help the fellas out there understand women and how to approach them, like how to understand you all better.
I feel like the thing that first let me start here.
Yes.
In relationships that I've had in the past,
Okay.
we attract where we're at.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
I'm evolving into a whole brand new space to where I need all of me. And I'm the type of person, I don't know how to have a relationship with a man and have a relationship with myself, and they both coexist. I end up getting lost in my partner.
Okay.
And getting lost in my partner leads to me being upset, leads to me being, because I'm not really
You're not
living in my
fulfilled.
truth.
Yeah.
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 And I don't really know how to do that.
Okay.
And right now I'm just so focused on what I like, just where I'm at.
Yeah.
But one thing, whether I'm in a relationship or not, one thing that I notice with men, we are not your mothers. You have a mother, and your mother's job is to do the mother things. We can heal, but that doesn't mean that we're your healers. We are emotional, but that's what helps the world go round, because if there was no compassion and the womanly essence in the world, I feel like it would be crazy, and a woman, we have so much power. We have so much power, and somewhere along the lines, I I feel like it's patriarchy of men. Somewhere along the lines, women forgot to believe in their magic. They felt like, this man knows what he's talking about over what I'm saying.
Over what I want.
Yeah, but the more and more that I become the woman that I'm supposed to be, I realize, no, like this, I think something is backwards.
Yeah.
And not saying, and men have a purpose, women have a purpose.
Yeah.
But I do think that society and media and, has painted this picture of what a woman is supposed to be. And in my experience, I've never experienced what they talk. I don't relate. And a lot of women don't relate.
Right,
and
right.
now that we're vocalizing, like, we don't relate. Actually, we think that you're wrong. Actually, that doesn't make sense to go to war and kill each other. This is actually crazy. And I think that just listening, like if you really listen to women, we're pretty clear.
Yeah.
We're pretty clear.
Yeah.
And we're complex beings, but but also as women, we also have to get to a space where we're coming together more often as women and connecting, because a lot of things that I'm realizing is I wanted a man to understand in me, but really it was for me to connect with women and sisters, because there's some things that you're just not going to get. And there's some things about you guys that I'm just not going to get. But how do we coexist to where we're not losing ourselves? And I think that,
right there.
I really think it comes down to us facing ourselves as individuals, because
absolutely.
then we can accept one another.
So being two whole people,
honey,
coming into a relationship.
Yes. I don't want to be in a relationship with nobody without the baggage.
And we become 100. It's 100 and 100.
And we're and
we feed off each other. Build.
Yeah. And I don't want to be blamed, and I don't want to blame anybody for my trauma. No.
That's good.
Like, no, that's not how I'm gonna heal. And we're gonna go back and forth about something that don't even matter, because really what the issue is, it happened when I was 5 or whatever it is. I'm like, no.
So fellas, I heard her say it. I'm sure you heard her say it loud and clear. Number one, she ain't your mama. The woman is not your mama. So don't bring all of the baggage that you get to bring to mama onto your woman in your relationship. She's not your healer, but she can heal. But that's not her sole purpose. So don't bring all the scars and expect her to have all the magic for that. Right? They're asking you, fellas, I'm talking to the fellas right now. Felicia La Tour and women are asking for you to have some of your own healing done, worked on within yourself before you come to the table. Right?
Yeah. Check that ego.
Yes.
That ego, honey. That ego lives in men. Like,
I'm gonna tell you something about ego, though. And I don't know if women understand this or not. Ego generally, if you see a man and you meet a man that seems to just be cocky as hell, a lot of times that's actually a bruised ego. It's actually low self-esteem.
Yeah.
And they overcompensate with this extra macho behavior.
Lack of confidence. I feel like really, I always say it's lack of confidence.
Yes, that's what it is.
That came from somewhere.
Absolutely.
Like you said, it's bruised.
Right. But if a woman says to a man, hey, listen, brother, I'm cool with you shining or whatever. You don't have to bring all of that show to me. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm growing. I'm cool if you just be upfront and real and honest about, hey, I got some things to work on as well. But society doesn't support a man opening up and being sensitive like that in general, because we get ridiculed for not me. I mean, I've embraced talking about feelings and whatever. But and that's maybe what women can understand about men is there's a lot of pressure for us to not open up because maybe we've been told that was weak. So you don't do that.
And it's not real.
That's
what I'm saying. I'm like, it's not. That's an illusion. That's that's one person's opinion. Somebody told somebody, and then the whole world started doing that. Like, wait, what? No, like, it's okay for you to express and say that. And especially as women, we naturally do that. So why would we look at you crazy for doing the same thing we do? It's really just a matter of, can we hear one another? Like, some people are not even on the same channel.
That's absolutely
I'm
right.
like, I hear you talking, but we're not on the same channel. You know?
Yeah.
Like, no. And there's a difference between hearing and listening.
I know it.
Like, I'm like, you're listening to me, but you're not really hearing me. You're not really getting it. It's not really hitting you.
Yeah, that's important. All right, so we'll wrap up. I'm gonna read a couple words. I just want you to describe maybe how those words resonate with you.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Family.
Everything. Everything.
Yeah.
Family is everything.
Foundation.
Yeah.
Okay. Village.
Everything. Family and village is the same thing.
Yeah.
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 Village means family. Family means village.
And you need that village.
Support.
Yeah.
Like, we can't do it on our own. And to ever think that I ever thought that I had to do this life thing on my own.
Know.
Whew,
It's not your fault. It wasn't your fault, though. You didn't know.
it's a trip.
Yeah, you didn't
It's a
know.
trip.
Yeah.
It's a trip.
Yeah, you didn't know. And
It's a
that's
trip.
it's a beautiful thing about growing up is that you were blessed enough to become aware of that.
In this lifetime,
And
amen.
there's a lot of adults that haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
That don't realize they can ask for help. People actually want to pour into you
Yeah.
if you just let them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good feeling.
Yep.
Okay. Fear.
I'm allowed to cuss.
Sure. I'll just edit it out. Fear. Go ahead.
F that B.
Say what you want to say. It's all
Fuck
good.
that bitch.
Yeah.
Fuck that bitch. Because
Yeah.
I
Where did that come
I-
from? There's a lot of passion behind that.
because I let her run my life for so long, and it was fear off of things that weren't real, and that wasted a lot of time, and that wasted a lot of I held myself back for a long time, and I dismissed my truth
Yep.
because of fear,
Yeah.
because of fear of how I would make somebody else feel, fear of how people would perceive me, just fear,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and I had to call on God and be like, I need your help.
Yep.
I need your help. I really need your help. Yeah. Fuck that bitch.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Home girl.
Oh, love, and just warmth. I was encouraging one of my friends on the way here.
Yeah.
That just really needed. I told her, I was like, I was moved to call you, girl. I'm like,
I know the
and I
feeling,
started
yeah.
crying about her passion. And I told her, I said, sisterhood is so important.
Yep.
And homegirl, that means that's your sister. That's my kid's auntie. That's
Yeah.
it's everything.
Yeah.
I cannot do this without my homegirls. I couldn't.
Yeah, you just reminded me of something. This is a little bit of a break from what I was doing with this, but you just reminded me. There was I don't know if you were the moderator of a discussion recently, and in one of your posts, you had talked about how you just started crying because you were looking at the room
Yeah.
and you saw something that brought you to tears. What was that?
A bunch of people of color talking about mental health
Yeah.
and creating content around mental health, and everybody was just so alert and so aware and just watching and ready to like.
Yeah.
As a leader in this space,
Yeah.
it was exciting to see other people wake up to it.
Yeah.
And to not feel I felt a sense of community.
Yeah.
I felt a sense of I'm not the only one out here fighting
yeah,
and
and-
living
and-
out
yeah.
loud.
Yeah.
You know, I live my life out loud. I really do. And
But at the same time, you feel alone in some things that you're doing, right?
yeah, which is why you need village, tribe,
yeah.
homegirls. Those are the things and those are the people that make you
Yeah.
feel reconnected.
Good for
you.
you.
Know?
Good for you.
And honestly, I was telling somebody recently too. I said I'm so thankful for my following because they keep me up too.
Yeah.
And they're always just like, Fee, like, you know, if they have random questions or they say thank you, it's just a little reminder of like, no, keep going. Like, you're doing what you need to do.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay, you know. And right now in my life, I'm going through one of the hardest times I've ever been through. But I just keep showing up, and I'm showing up on a whole different level.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take nothing from me. It
Yeah.
only makes me actually feel it's
Yeah.
healing.
Yeah, they say new levels bring new devils.
Yes.
Right? And so you're at a place now. You have a lot of exciting things coming up. What does the word push mean to you? Push.
The word push.
Does that resonate with you?
The word push reminds me of movement, like just moving through whatever it is.
Progress.
And yeah, and I'm pushing through what it is that I'm going through right now. Because I'm pushing past all the fears.
Yeah.
Let's say
love it.
let's say I have a handful of like 10 fears.
Yep.
And I'm walking through this game of life. My
I love the
backpack and
visual,
all my
by the way. Yeah, I love
I love
it.
it.
Okay,
I'm like,
yeah.
because this is what helps people like really
I got
get
you.
it.
I'm visual too, yeah.
Felicia the Explorer.
Yes,
I'm
I
walking
know it.
through
I
life.
know it. Yeah.
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 And there's certain things that I'm like, oh yeah, I don't want to look at that right now. But I feel like God gave me so many passes and so many chances.
Right.
And now I'm like, oh my God, I got to face all 10 of the things I was trying to pass back there at one time. It's all the things that I've been fearful of. And it goes right back to being a child. And it's crazy because it's only like 4 or 5 like things. You know what I mean? 4 or 5 things, but they are so big. But really, it's not. It's like, oh, but I guess I just didn't have enough awareness or enough courage, enough insight, all of it to be able to move forward on it. Like God would, if God revealed everything at one time, we would be too overwhelmed. Too overwhelmed. So he showed me little things to where I'm prepared to be able to fight and push
God
through
will not
what's
give
going
you
on.
more than you can handle.
Not at all.
In that moment.
Not at all. I was like, oh, this situation, and this is the first time that I'm actually healing the right way.
Amen to that.
Because before I told my sister, it's like you have a garden and you planted the seeds, but you realize that like, oh shoot, it's starting to grow underneath the house and it's going to start messing up. Like the foundation is not right. So now I'm going in and I'm pulling up the roots.
Right.
So it's leaving holes. And what I would do is when it was leaving holes, when I'm pulling, I would always go and pull up the root. But am I filling it up with love in myself or am I filling it up with another person?
Love it.
And that was what I would see that.
I'm going to use that, I think.
Yes.
I'm going to use that in therapy with my clients.
Oh, it's amazing because I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And
I love that.
I need to feel in those holes.
We have to manage the seed. We have to manage the garden stuff. Yeah.
Yes. And I was like, oh no, I can't. No, I can no longer fill up my potholes with other people.
Yeah. Love it.
I can't do it. And I don't want to be nobody else's pothole. Fill yourself up, damn it. Because there's some stuff that we can't do for one another.
Yeah.
You can't fill all of your wife's buckets.
That's right.
She can't fill all of your buckets.
Right,
but the bucket that I do need you to show up for, let's make sure we're equally yoked on that bucket.
Yeah.
Because if not, I'm going to give to, I know how I love. I give a lot.
Yeah.
And my gift is to speak life into you. So if I'm speaking life into you, you're not accepting it, this isn't going to work.
Are you feeling at all overwhelmed anymore or currently with the amount that you pour into other people's lives or some of the challenges that other people are going through or they're trying to ask you for help with? Or have you gotten better at just saying, you know what, right now I'm prioritizing my crap and my healing. So I'm not really getting emotionally attached to your problems right now because Felicia's taking care of Felicia. That's where you're at right now, I would imagine.
I'm like that, but I make sure I'm careful with my words just because words hurt me so bad when I was younger.
Gotcha.
And so some people, like, you and I can have that conversation. So let's say, for instance, I'm like, hey, can I borrow some of your time to like, I got to tell you some of my problems. And you're like, you know what? I got my own stuff going on right now. But that doesn't mean forever. That's just for right now. You're going through something. So then what if the next time I try to hit you up and you're like, but last time, like he was, he had his own stuff going on and I just didn't want people to feel like that.
Right.
But that's also a trauma thing of like just being able to be truthful. So it's just, that's why I'm working with my therapist. I'm like, I'm either too far to the left or too far to the right. I'm like, so what's the middle? Because I still want to help.
You're finding your center right now.
And she had to teach me that it was, it's okay to listen to people's problems, but they're not your problem. And to identify the difference between the two. So now I'm like, I can listen to you because I want to be able to listen to you, but I don't need to take it on. And I'll just be like, I hear you, girl. And most of the time I realized my friends didn't want me to fix their problems. They just needed somebody to listen to. So that was my trauma, feeling like I had to fix everything.
I got to fix.
When I didn't have to fix nothing. And it was just like, damn, like I kind of just wanted to like, and I'm thinking I got to like help her find a house and all this stuff. She like, nah, girl, I just need somebody to talk to. So I had to also reframe how I was looking at people, it goes back to self.
I love this. All right, so we're gonna wrap up. 2020 is right around the corner. My motto is 2020 vision. That's me. I'm looking at the next year clearly, right? Everything is coming into focus. 2020. What does Felicia La Tour's 2020 look like right now? What is coming up,
honey,
that you can share?
Honey, I am a butterfly. That just stepped out of the cocoon.
Now, I've seen a little something. I don't know if you're talking about that yet. You were sitting at a round table, having a discussion with some other folks, probably about some powerful topics.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I guess we're looking forward to in 2020.
Yeah. So I'm looking to collaborate with people that are doing the same thing that I'm doing. So you'll see me out more, speaking more, doing my own projects more, just showing up for myself.
Yeah.
2020 is when I'm putting all of my baskets in my own thing.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
I'm not operating in fear.
Yeah.
She don't have no space in 2020. And I'm closing the door on her. I'm pushing past the
Yeah.
things that I
Love
was
it.
always afraid of. And I'm just unapologetically being myself.
That's beautiful.
And yeah, I'm putting myself first while still helping others.
Felicia La Tour, mindful fee, right? Everybody's homegirl. I'm saying that. She's just the homegirl and somebody's mama. The merch, I guess it sold out really quick.
Yeah, people love it.
But more to come. I know they did.
Oh, I have something really cool coming.
Absolutely. And I'm excited for you to see whatever the next wave of her merch is that's coming out. You might be speaking. There's panels that you have spoke on. There are events that you've led where I think you've led women through mindfulness exercises and practices. But I'm looking forward to so much of that in 2020.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. I know that we don't know each
thank
other
you.
that long. I'm very proud of you because I love to see, most importantly, a person that fights for their peace of mind and their purpose.
Yeah.
And just that the sparkle in somebody's eye when they have got it, when it finally begins to make sense.
Yeah.
And you're like, I know exactly what I'm doing. Felicia La Tour, I'm honored. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Zen, I appreciate you too, bud.
We did it.
Yes, your first podcast.